Hi. So today I have been asked to make a video to show us how to make a star cube, and this is actually quite fun. Usually when you're done, you'll make a little belt to go around this so that it closes and stays pretty nice and tight. And it's very small. It takes up very little room. It's actually 2.5 by 2.5 by about a little over an inch, just a very little over an inch thick. So this is really cute because you can put 6, 8, I think you can put 24 pictures on this. There's a few things you need, but once it's closed, it's small, but when you open it, and we use magnets, it looks like a star. I don't know if you can see that. But on each of these little deals, you can put a whole picture or half a picture. And so there's 6 per each side, but then it's like a tessellation. You can open it up. I'm trying to make sure I can get this. You can keep rolling it, and each side will have pictures on it. It tessellates. So this is kind of cute if you don't want a whole lot of room for your pictures, but you do want to keep pictures, or if you want to give it as a gift for someone. It's a really neat little present. So what we're going to do is we're going to make 24 of this shape, and I'm going to give you the measurements, and we will cut them out and then glue them together, and then glue all 24 of them. There are 24 of these, and when you open it, it looks really weird until we get our magnets in here and we make it look like a star. Okay, so what you're going to need to do this is you're going to need some glue. I have my art glitter glue kind of portioned down into a smaller little glue, and we're going to need 6 pieces of cardboard. I've chosen 2 different colors. You're going to need a bone folder or something that you can press your papers down so that the glue will adhere. You can use the edge of a pen if you don't have a bone folder. And I have a ruler and a pencil. And then I have my cut and scoreboard. If you don't have a cut and scoreboard, you can use your ruler to make your marks and then cut it with scissors, but you can also, to score is pretty important. If you don't have a score tool like this that comes with our scoreboards, and this just helps us to run down these lines, you can use a ruler, and I will show you how to do that. And then you can use something that's a little bit pointed. For example, this is one of my paint brushes. Most of my paint brushes are very round, so they don't work. But this one has like a little point on the end, and so this would actually, I could use this to score. You can use, let's see, anything sharp. I've actually bought this. It has a round ball on the bottom, and you can use that to score. If you're really struggling, you can use the soft end of a knife, not the side that you cut with, and not a cutting knife, but a butter knife. You can use the soft end of that. That would fit and help you to score. So I'm going to show you how to do that if you don't have a scoreboard. If you're going to do a lot of paperwork, these are really nice investment. So I have my paper. I'm going to start with an orange one. I think that'll be a little bit easier for you to see. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and score. Now, if I'm using my scoreboard, it's really easy. If you're not using a scoreboard, let's show you how you can do that. Do I have a pencil? Oh, I don't. Okay, I'm going to have to use a pen because, oh, there's my pencil. Yay. I like the pencil because you can erase it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across my paper at the top and bottom. And I'm going to mark 2.5, 5, 7.5, and then between my 5 and my 7.5, I want to do 1.25 inch. So it's 1.25, 1.25, and then you're going to have just about an inch on this side. Okay, so I'm also going to do that down at the bottom. 2.5, 5, 7.5, and then 6.25. Okay, so I have my tick marks. You can see that. So in order for me to score this without a scoreboard, I'm going to go ahead and use this. And you might want to put down a couple pieces of paper under the paper that you want to score so that it has something soft. It won't score very well if you're doing it on something hard like a table. So I'm going to go ahead and put my paper down. And I will line up the top and the bottom tick marks, and then I'm going to run this a couple times, and you can kind of see we have a score mark. That's where you fold. And it's going to be a little bit harder to fold than if you do a scoreboard. But at least it gives you an idea. And then you can just use the side of this to flatten it down really well. Okay, so I'm going to let you do that on all 6 of your pieces. And I'm going to use my scoreboard. I really like my scoreboard. I have several of these. I think I have 3 of them. So they've come in really handy. So I'm going to flip that. I'm going to get my little knife. And I'm going to push. You can get a fairly economical one at Amazon for $20, $21, $22. But you can also do everything that you can do on this with just a ruler, a pencil, and something you can mark with. So I'm going to do 2.5, 5, and I can't go over 6 inches in this. So what I have to do when I have to do something over 6 inches, and I have to do 6.25, so you saw that, I will move this, and on one of my lines, I will put it on my cut line, line it up, and then I know I have to go in 1.25 inches, so then I'll just mark my 1.25 inches right there. Okay. So you're going to want to score all 6 of your papers exactly this way. The next thing, once you have them all scored, is you're going to want to cut them. And these are 2.5 inches. They're 2.5 inches wide, so we want them to also be 2.5 inches this way. Now again, you can use your ruler, mark it with a pen, pencil. Usually a pencil's better. Mark your 2.5, and we're going to go 2.5 the whole way across. So we'll mark it 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. So this is going to be a little bit of a throwaway. So you get 4 squares out of each piece of paper that you have. And I'm going to go ahead and cut mine on my scoreboard while you get those ready. Make sure you have 24 of them. And they are 2.5 inches wide. I hope that was 2.5. Oh, I did 2.25. So make sure you do 2.5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I only got 3 out of that sheet of paper because I made a mistake. Yep, easy to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. Remember, when you're watching a video, if you just put your mouse in the middle of the video and just hit it once, it will pause it. And then if you leave it alone while you do your work, hit the mouse again, it will start your video again. You don't have to go down to the left-hand side and find that arrow and find the 2 parallel lines. And that takes a lot of time and you can lose your place. So just make sure and keep your mouse inside the middle of your video. Click it and it'll stop. Click it and it'll start. And so you don't lose your place. Okay, I will be right back in just a little bit. Okay, so now it gets just a little bit easier. Now we're going to fold and then glue, and I have my two colors separated. So I will show you with the orange one how we're going to do it. And what I have found is you have a valley where you've scored, and then you have a mountain where it's popped up on the other side. If you use the valley and fold and make that become the mountain, then your paper will do better. So the other thing that I'm very careful about is when I go, I try to make sure that my sides are pretty square, this side and this side. And again, if you don't have a bone folder, go ahead and use some kind of tool that you have that will flatten it. So then I did the first 2.5. I'm going to do the next 2.5. And your score lines are pretty much just guidelines. They are not set in stone. So if you feel like it's just a little bit off, it's not quite right, that's what making sure that it's at least square this way, then you can push it the way you want. Now this one, this is our 1 1/4 between our 2.5. We're going to go ahead, and what I do is I am very careful. You can fold it to make it easier to see, but I am very careful to make this one especially square. And sometimes my score lines line up perfectly, and sometimes I kind of have to manipulate them a little bit. So there we have this shape, and we are going to glue that. I'm going to show you how to glue that, and then I'm going to show you one more time how to do this, and I will let you do your other 22. And I don't put a lot on the edges because I don't want it to get stuck to each other. Okay. So then again, as I glue, I make sure all my edges kind of fit so that it's pretty square. And I push this down really well. Now the heat of your hand will help. You can push it with your thumbnail if you don't have a bone folder, or find a little tool that will work. So there, we have two. I have two of them because I made one to show you. So let's go ahead and do another one. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my first 2.5 inch, and I want to make sure it's pretty square. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold my second one, and I'm really trying. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not perfect people. We make all kinds of mistakes. So there we have our 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go to the end, the very end, and I'm going to fold this one. And then I'm going to take where I have my small score at 1 1/4, and this one I'm very, very careful to try and make sure it's as square as I can possibly get it. Okay, and then we glue it. Now you can do all of your folding at once. I remember WKRP. It was really kind of a sitcom funny a long time ago. A lot of you young people probably don't even remember it. But I remember Lonnie Anderson, the guys were asking her to do a lot of things, and she said, I do one thing, I do it well, I move on. I know other people have said that in videos and movies, but I like that because if you do that, then you have a better chance of making sure everything's pretty well square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fold all of these, then I'll come back and glue them all. So I'm going to stop the video again, and I will see you when we have all of these folded and glued like this, and then I will show you how to put it together so that it will make a star, so that we can make our nice little star. The other thing that I forgot to tell you is you will need some magnets, and I have gotten these, they're called Jarlink. I have gotten these from Amazon. I'm sure if you go to any craft store you can find magnets, but they are, when you look at them, okay, I pulled several. These are 10 millimeter across, and they're only 1 millimeter thick. The one thing that I want to caution you about when we go to use these, and I'll probably remember to do it again, is you don't pull them apart like this, because when you do, the magnet has a tendency to snap back and you'll crack them, and people have done this. So when you're ready to just get one of your magnets, you will slide it away from the others so that you don't crack it. And if you have to put it back, then you try to just slide it back. Okay, I'll try and remember to help you to remember to do that. Get yourself some magnets. These are neodymes, so they're very strong. They work really well. And I will see you as soon as we get all of these folded and glued. Be right back. Bye-bye. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've gotten all of my squares glued together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 6 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to put the other 2 sets of 6 away. And I have some magnets. I'm going to put them right there. Okay, and I have my glue. And what I have is some double stick tape. And I'll show you what we're going to use the double stick tape for in just a minute. Let me get things a little bit straightened out here. I have so much junk here from working today. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I also have some score tape. You can use Scotch tape if you have it. It doesn't have to be score tape. It can be really any kind of tape. And this is going to be for the magnets. So I don't need it right away, but we'll need it in just a little bit. So I'm going to put that over there. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to lay them out. I have 1, 2, 3, and as we put these together, I will take 1 from each stack. Do I have 6, 2, 4, 6? Yeah. And then let's put these out of the way so we don't mix them up. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is actually quite fun. Let me move this in. This is a little closer. So we'll take one of these, and I am going to always keep my little jaws on my left-hand side. So that's jaw 1. And I am going to, you can use tape if you like. I don't like score tape so much for something like this, but I'm going to put glue on here. So now this one, I want my jaws to go up. So I'm going to put those together, make sure they're kind of square. And again, you can use the warmth of your hand to do this. Okay, so we have one going this way, one going this way. So I'm going to flip it again so that the jaws are on my left-hand side, and I'm going to put glue on the face of this. And again, this one I want to go up. 1 to the left, 1 up. And I have to make sure that I'm not, see, some of my glue fell over, so I don't want too much of the extra. I want to make sure that just my edges are glued together, and like these little V's, I don't want them stuck to a side like that. I want it to be kind of movable. Okay, so we just put an orange one on. I want that to go to my left. I'm going to put glue on it. I'm going to try and put just a little bit less glue on the edges because I don't want them sticking where they're not supposed to stick. Okay, that one's to the left. I want this one to go up. Okay, so that's your pattern. You want to make the last one that you put on going to the left, take another color, and then the new color goes up. So this one I'm going to put up. Yeah, and I'm not getting any more glue coming out, which is really good, because then things don't stick that aren't supposed to stick. Okay, so again, to the left, a little bit of glue. This one goes up. So, to the left. Up. Up. I got some glue coming out. I'm gonna have to check that, make sure it's not sticking things that I don't want it to stick. Okay. Yeah, that's that. It's okay as long as it doesn't catch other things. Sometimes I'll just take this and wipe it away. Okay, so to the left, glue. Up. Okay, my last one's to the left. And you're going to do this for all of these. Up. And if they start going just a little bit crooked, I don't worry a lot about it. That's not a deal breaker for me. When I did this one, you can kind of see it looks like it's almost starting to swirl this way because I didn't watch it real close. Okay, so to the left. Up. And some of my sizes aren't real good. Some of them just messed up. Okay, to the left, glue. Up. Okay, to the left, glue, up, okay, so there's one set of 12. And I'm going to lay that aside for now. And I'm going to lay out the other 12. Where'd they go? Okay, here's the brown ones. And you're going to continue doing the same thing, basically. So I have 2, 4, 6. And you only want to do 24 Otherwise it won't float right. 2, 4, 6. Okay, so I'm going to keep going on, and I will stop this video for now, and then I will start it again when I get to the end of gluing these all together to show you how to put your magnets on, and then how to do that. So I'll be back in just a little bit. You go ahead and keep gluing yours too. You can stop this in the middle if you like. Okay, so I have all of my cards together, and now you have a choice. You can either put your magnets on. We need 4 of them for here, and then we'll need 2 for the little belt to go around it. Or you can go ahead and put your pictures in. It's a lot easier to put your magnets on and then do your pictures. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will show you how we do magnets. Actually, I need 8 magnets for this, 4 on each side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, those got snapped together a little bit too much. Oh, look at me, they need a break. Okay, so basically what I do when I use the score tape is I will go ahead and take off just a little piece, and I'm going to go ahead and put those kind of in the corners, not too close. You want to keep it just a little bit away. I put that one just a little too close. This one's better. And I'm not doing a whole lot. Yeah, that's better. Because this will actually get a cover on it. I'm going to take my sweater off. It's getting warm in here. It's the middle of winter and it's getting nice and warm. Okay, so then one by one I'm going to take off, and if you're just using Scotch tape, then what you'll do is you will actually put your magnet down first and then put tape over it. And so I am going to go ahead and actually put a piece of tape over this again. Okay, so I'll do all 4 of these, pretty much like that, and another piece of tape. And basically what I'm doing is that little piece of tape that is on either side of the magnet, this keeps it from getting attached to the paper, and you'll see why in just a minute, because when we put the other magnets on, we don't want them to stick. We don't want that little piece of tape to stick to our paper. That's a little too close to the edge, but it's going to have to be okay. Okay, so I need some more magnets. Let me get some more magnets for us. I think I just need 2 more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see I'm keeping them away from each other so they don't slip together. Okay, so in order for this to work, it's a little bit tricky now. So I'm going to take just a little bit of tape, and I actually want to see some sides of this will, I'm going to put my tape on that one, and some sides will fight and then it will flip to the other side. There we go, that one did it. I'm going to put all of these on, and don't let them snap too much. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to put a little piece of tape on each one of these. Now, if you're using Scotch tape, what you'll do is you will open your tape up. Pretend this is a piece of Scotch tape. This is my sticky side. I would actually put this on here like this. And then when I close it, this will catch onto the other piece of paper. And you can actually do that with this too, but I like to do it like this. Okay, so I'm going to take off my paper. It's a little bit tight. Okay, there's one. And two. It's trying to stick to my metal spatula here. 3. 4. Okay, so I'm going to keep my tape because I'm going to need it again. So what you'll need to do is you will actually lay them on their edge like this and then pull them around, and you will try to get them about as square as you can, and then press that together pretty tight. And so when you pull it apart, you'll have magnets on both sides then. These are magnets. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this fresh side. I'm going to go ahead and put some tape on those. I usually work with thicker tape than this. It's a little bit bigger. It's wider. But this is working pretty well. I have a class going on, and so I have everything backed up for my class. And it's out in the kitchen, ready to go tomorrow. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do, if you have some pretty scrap paper, for example, I have these. Oh, and that looks like it's just about perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut. Actually, I want it just a little bit smaller. Well, no, I'm going to make it just the exact size that I need. And I'm going to cut 2 of these, one for each side. And if you're doing it by scissors, then you just go ahead and measure pretty well. So it's a little bit under 1.5. 2.5, I'm sorry. This one's just a little under 2.5 inches. Okay, if you don't have smudge ink, that's okay. Otherwise, it's always kind of pretty to go ahead and make the edges. Oh, I should have used an orange. That would have been a really pretty color to put on the edges of these. That's all right. Now, I have my glue. I will start taking off these others. And if you use Scotch tape, then you don't have to. This is the second step for using score tape. Scotch tape is just as well. It works just as well. I use this because it's acid free, and I like my things to kind of last a little bit longer than Scotch tape will allow. So now what I want to do is I actually want to go ahead and I'm going to glue this side of my paper . But then I also put a little bit of glue around these magnets. just a little bit extra. Okay, and then I will go ahead and glue this down. So what you have is you actually have the glue holding it, but then you also have that score tape, or if you don't have score tape, you're just using tape, then it's the glue that actually holds these down. And so, and I work my way around so that the paper is pretty well stuck, as well as makes a little edge around your magnet. And then I'm going to do it to the other side also. I'm going to take my tape off first. And again, this is an extra step for those of you who are using just a Scotch tape. And Scotch tape is pretty cool. We can do a lot of our crafts with just plain old Scotch tape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue my paper. And for those of you that are new to our channel, you can see I'm not particularly perfect about my glue, because this glue that I use, the art glitter glue, if you're using Elmer's, you might have to press a little harder to get your glue. But if I have a line like this with my glue, when I press it, it moves. It kind of flops out. And that's why I like the art glitter glue. It is thin enough that it manipulates well. And see, I got that magnet just a little too close, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about that. So I have both sides done. So when you go ahead and do this, your magnets will hold it. Well, will they? There we go. Now, since we have that much done, the next thing that you'll want to do is you will want to get pictures. And we know that this is 2.5 by 2.5. So you will want to cut your pictures about 2.5 or just a smidge smaller by 2.5. And then you will cut them in the middle, because what you're going to do is you are actually going to put half of your picture on this side and half of your picture on this side, so that when it closes, your picture's not in the way. And you want to keep it a little bit away from that fold so that it will fold. Now, you're going to do that basically. My magnets are not holding well. I don't know if it's because they're wet. So then you'll flip it to an empty spot, and you'll start putting, and really, oh, there it goes, it's holding. So then you'll flip it to the next spot. These are orange, and then you'll flip it again to the brown. And if you have to, just keep manipulating your magnets. I'm not quite sure why. These are really good magnets. They should hold well. There it goes. I think it was because this was stuck. I had, see, my glue stuck some of this together, and so it was sticking pretty much. And so then you just keep flipping. There it goes. Oops. I have never had this happen with these magnets. Just make sure you get some really good magnets. But if it does that, then once you go ahead and click it together again, it's okay. It's pretty much when you're moving it. So I'm going to hold the magnet and flip it. There we go. That worked. And I'm going to hold the magnet and flip it. Well, you kind of get the point. Make sure you get some really good magnets. That's all I can say. Okay, so once you have all of your pictures in here, then what we want to do is we want to make what we call a belly band. And a belly band, I don't think this is going to be big enough, no. What a belly band actually does is it goes the entire way around. This will be good. Okay, it goes the entire way around your dealy bopper. And the best way to do that is I'm going to go ahead and put this pretty much in the middle. And I'm going to use my little knife and I'm going to fold it. And then I will fold it again and try to make a crease while you're doing this. And this is where you'll use magnets again. And you can put a pretty paper on this, you can put a flower, you can do whatever you like on this. You can make it thinner if you want to. I'm going to leave it heavy and I'm going to use 2 magnets. Actually I'm going to use 4. 2, 3, 4. And basically I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and put magnets on one side. And I'm just going to tape them on kind of like this. Actually, I think one might do it. We'll see. And I'll do that. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to show you what I would do if this were regular tape. So I'll put these on. And I'm going to connect these. Now I have 2 there. These are very thin and they're usually extremely strong. And you have to know which way is north and which way is south. Okay. So then when I close this, oops. Okay, let go, let go. Yeah, that will be perfect. So then you'll want to put, you might want to try some thinner paper. I'm a little bit surprised. I think my magnets are really old. And I don't know if that would affect them or not, really. I don't know. So I might just cut a little piece of this. Aren't my scissors pretty? I just love these scissors. So I might just cut a little piece of this to put on here. Yeah, it's a little big, but that's okay. I'm going to put glue on it. I really don't know what's going on with my magnets. I know these are Neodyme and I know they're really good magnets, but they're just not holding right now. And so see, I have a little bit on this side. I'm going to take my scissors and just cut that. There we go. And then I will do the same on here. I am going to go ahead and take off my tape. And this, I will actually cut nice so that it fits well. Now, you're welcome to decorate each one of these, and I would do it separately. I wouldn't take one big long piece down there because it will it'll kind of mess up. And then I have to see how long I want to make it this way. This paper, I've talked to you girls about this paper. I am not happy with this last batch of paper I've gotten because when I cut it, I don't know if you can see those little clingy things. I have to shave them off every time I cut something. And that's the paper. That's not my cutter. I have just changed my blade. It's the paper, and when I cut the black paper, this is a lot better paper, the black paper. So I really suggest that if you're cutting paper and doing a lot of things like that with a knife like I have, that you go ahead and buy better paper. I'm really not happy with this paper that I got. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this one. And a little bit of glue around my magnets. And there we go. I don't know if ribbons would work on this. You could probably connect some, you know, where we put the magnets here. You might be able to use ribbon. I've never tried that. If you try it and it works, let me know. See, now that's going to work nicely. Okay. Yeah, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I have all this decorated because that's basically what I would have done. And then you just go ahead and wrap this, wrap it, and then you have a real pretty... My magnets are being buggers. Okay, so then if you want to throw this in a purse, or if you are a minimalist and you don't have a lot of belongings, you don't own a lot of things, this is a nice way to keep some pictures of kids, grandkids, mom, dad, grandma, whatever you like. And then when you want to show people, you just open this up, snap it together, and they can look at all of your pictures. And again, I'm not having a hard time if this doesn't stick when I flip it, because then I can go ahead and snap it again, and then you can look at the, some of it, it almost seems like it's out of whack. There we go. And so then they can look at these pictures. See, there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that you have a lot of fun with these. You can make them bigger. Just remember that when we made our piece like this, these folds, these 3 folds, are all the same. They're exact squares. And then this is your glue place, and then this gets scored in half so that you can put your pictures in there. So you can adjust this to make it bigger. I'm not sure, you might have to do the 12 by 12 sheets of paper to make it too much bigger, but it's always easy to go ahead and adjust these if you keep the ratio the same, kind of keep the ratio the same. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed making it with you. I'm sorry about my magnets. Oh well. See you again next time. Oh, do you like my nails? These are those Lily and Fox nails. This is the second set I've put on. I'm really loving these, and my nails are growing. My nails are growing. Makes me happy. Okay, I'll see you again. Bye-bye.